Right, so g'day Lance, welcome to the Breen.
G'day, how's it going?
I'm good. Is it true you've never owned a car, Lance?
Nope, never owned a car, never had a driver's license. That confuses people because what I've found often happens is you say, oh, I don't have a driver's license. The first question out of people's mouths is, how did you lose it? And the assumption is I had one and lost it. And then when I say I've never actually sat the test, so I've never failed a test, I've never sat the test, blah, blah, and they go, oh, and I all of a sudden become the weirdo with a bike.
Bikes everywhere for 40 years. You must have...
Yeah, well, 47 to be precise. Yeah. I got my first bike somewhere around 10 or 11, and, you know, including school, riding to school and riding around and doing stuff like that, and then it just sort of kept on going. And, yeah, it's normal for me. I know people in cars find driving a car is normal for them, and the concept of being on a bike is the abnormal thing. Well, for me, it's the other way around. And yeah, I never made a conscious decision not to drive. Dad did teach me some basic driving and stuff when I was 15 or 16 going to golf, but I was never obsessed with getting a driver's license or owning a car. I never sort of got round to it. And then I went through a stage where I wouldn't have afforded to buy a car anyway, so didn't see the point in having the license. And then I was living in Wellington for a while where there was good public transport. So there wasn't, and housing a car in Wellington's an atrocious thing to try and do. And this sort of thing. And yeah, and gradually I think my lifestyle has developed around the not having a bike. So I haven't really been in a situation where I've absolutely needed to actually go and get the license and get a car, because I've never been in a situation where I've worked somewhere where it's like living in Hamilton and working in Cambridge and have to solve that problem by getting a car and a license. I've never had that situation.
You must have saved so much money on petrol and maintenance through the years, right?
Yeah, this whole petrol price increases that have been happening, I have to be careful not to laugh too often when people moan about the price of petrol, because my natural cheekiness tends me towards when someone goes, oh, the price of petrol's gone up by 5 cents, and have me laugh my head off, and this sort of thing, or when they talk about, oh, they need to take the taxes off petrol. I go, no, they don't. Just buy a bike.
It's a rat. How many bikes have you gone through in the years? How many have you owned?
As I told Stuff, it's about 11 bikes that I think. Right? I'm on an e-bike now, my first e-bike. I started with a little rally chopper, moved to a rally 20, moved to a 10-speed, and that was my schooling years. And then after that, it was varying versions of mountain bikes or hybrids, you know, for road bikes and stuff like that, until I got this e-bike. And that was because I found I lived quite close to town and found I was walking more than cycling for quite a while. And I was getting, you know, I was getting on a bit. I was, you know, 50 something, and I do photography, and I do portrait photography mostly, but I shoot a lot of sport and do a lot of photo walks with people and things like that. And I decided an e-bike was easier for things where you decide to, I don't know, ride to the zoo, spend 4 or 5 hours walking around the zoo, you're a bit knackered by the end of it, and then you've got to ride home. Well, the e-bike means that I can adjust the settings from what I use to ride there to something more comfortable to ride home, because I have it set on the lowest possible settings most of the time. Right? And then, yeah, if I want to go out to Te Rapa Strait, for instance, and I'm in a hurry, I'll crank all the settings up and be hitting 40, 45 k's an hour down out Te Rapa, and things like that. And I quite enjoy it. You know, there are parts of the day that I enjoy the adrenaline rush to some degree, but because I started when I was a kid and have never owned a car, so I've never got off a bike, I'm quite comfortable driving in amongst traffic. Yes, some car drivers piss me off at times, and this sort of thing, because they either sit in the cycle lane and are going slow, and I could have been right up by the lights if it wasn't for them sitting in the cycle lane, or I'm going through a narrow street and there's a car dawdling along at snail's pace in front of me, and it always makes me laugh when car drivers say, "Oh, but cyclists go so slow, they hold cars up, blah, blah, blah." And here I am sitting behind a car that's holding me up.
I hear you. Well, thank you for joining us today. I really admire you. Well done.
Oh, thanks. And, you know, all I can say to people is look at how you can fit cycling into your life, and is it feasible for you as the infrastructure develops and gets better and better by councils and stuff like this. Look at ways in which you can cycle occasionally. It's not saying people have to cycle, it's just saying put the infrastructure in so that people who want to can do so. You know, there's people who drive past me in a car and go, "Oh, I wish I could do that, but I'm too scared of being on the road," you know.
Yeah.
One thing I find really funny is people, and I've seen this because I've only been into a gym twice in my life, and both times I'll do a photo shoot, right? But I find it quite funny when people will drive a car to the gym to spend 20 minutes on an exercycle getting their cardio in. I get that doing my grocery shopping.
You take care, my friend.
Same to you. Thanks. Bye.
That was great. Thank you. I won't play all of it, but I can play bits of it.
Yeah.
And then it's all right.
Cool. Yep. Sweet. Okay.
It's very funny, and I'll send you through what I've done.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.